Ever wonder what your cabin steward really thinks when they clean your room? They smile, greet you by name, fold your towels into perfect swans, but behind that polite professionalism, there are a few things they quietly despise. Today, we're uncovering 14 cruise ship secrets your cabin steward secretly hates you're doing. Some are small mistakes that cost them precious minutes. Others could quietly flag you as that passenger among the crew. And at the end, I'll reveal the one behavior that can completely change how your steward treats you for the rest of your voyage. I've spent years studying the hidden systems of luxury cruising, how service, psychology, and routine blend into something that feels effortless. This is Lux Depths, where we explore the world of luxury travel beneath the surface. Your cabin steward isn't just there to make your bed and refresh your towels. They're part of an intricate network, timing their movements, managing expectations, and maintaining standards most passengers never see. They know which guests will leave generous tips before the voyage is halfway done. They know who will complain to guest services over a missing hand towel, and they absolutely know when you're making their job harder than it needs to be. Let's pull back the curtain. Secret number 1, leaving that do not disturb sign hanging all day. It seems harmless. You want privacy, you're sleeping in, you forget to flip the sign. But to your cabin steward, that sign means chaos. They're working through hundreds of cabins on a strict timeline. Each do not disturb room disrupts their flow, throws off the rotation, and sometimes forces them to double back during their only break. Here's what most passengers don't realize. Cabin stewards aren't paid hourly in the way you'd expect. Their compensation is often tied to completing their full rotation of rooms within a specific window. When too many cabins have that sign up, they fall behind, and falling behind means skipping meals, losing break time, or working late into the night trying to catch up. One steward I spoke with said that on embarkation day, nearly 40% of cabins hang the sign and forget about it. The result? She worked until midnight just to keep up, then had to be back at 6 the next morning. If you need privacy, absolutely use the sign, but flip it to make up room please as soon as you're ready. That small gesture keeps their day running smoothly and keeps you on their good side. Secret number 2, treating your cabin like a laundry room. Hanging damp swimsuits on lamps, railings, or over the balcony, it's one of their biggest frustrations. Those dryers and AC systems are calibrated for safety, not soggy towels blocking vents. And when you hang things on the balcony, sea breezes often send them flying, meaning your steward ends up explaining to security why your shorts are floating in the pool below. Wet fabric draped on electronics, like lamps or TV stands, creates fire hazards. Cruise ships take fire safety incredibly seriously. One electrical short can trigger alarms, evacuations, and investigations. Your steward isn't allowed to touch your belongings, so they can't move your wet towel off the lamp. Instead, they have to report it, which creates a paper trail, flags your cabin, and adds unnecessary stress to their shift. Most ships provide retractable clotheslines in the bathroom. Use them. It's a tiny adjustment that prevents major headaches. Secret number 3, leaving your valuables everywhere. Phones, watches, jewelry, scattered across counters like breadcrumbs. Stewards are trained never to touch your belongings, but it slows them down. They have to clean around their clutter, sometimes wiping half the counter because the rest is covered. It's not about theft, it's about precision. One misplaced earring could mean hours of paperwork and stress. Your steward enters your cabin with about 12 to 15 minutes to complete a full cleaning. They're wiping surfaces, replacing towels, restocking amenities, vacuuming, making the bed, all while mentally cataloging what was where when they arrived. When your laptop is on the desk, your sunglasses on the nightstand, your phone charging near the TV, and your jewelry spread across the vanity, suddenly they can't clean half those surfaces. The solution is simple. Use the safe. Keep valuables in one spot. Leave surfaces clear so your steward can actually do their job without navigating a minefield of your personal items. Secret number 4, ignoring your steward's schedule. Most passengers think cabin service is available anytime, like a hotel, but cruise stewards work in rotations, covering decks with hundreds of cabins. When you constantly stay in your room during their assigned window, it throws off their entire workflow and adds hours of unpaid overtime. Each steward is assigned a block of cabins. usually between 15 and 20, depending on the ship. They clean in waves, morning service, afternoon turn down, and sometimes evening checks. If you're always in your room during their scheduled time, they can't clean. They move on to the next cabin, planning to circle back. But when multiple cabins on the same deck do this, their rotation collapses. Pay attention to the daily schedule in your cabin or app. Most stewards work mornings and late afternoons. If you plan to nap or relax in your room, do it midday when they've already serviced your cabin. And if you happen to be there during their window, step out for 20 minutes. That brief absence is a gift to them, and you'll return to a spotless, restocked room. Secret number 5, overusing the cabin call button. You'd be surprised how many guests use the call button like room service. Need ice? Button. Need towels? Button. Need directions? Button again. But on most ships, that signal goes to a shared queue. Your steward might have to leave another room mid-service, interrupting their rhythm, and sometimes even safety checks. The call button was designed for urgent needs, a maintenance issue, a medical concern, something that can't wait, but some passengers treat it like a concierge bell, pressing it multiple times a day for minor requests. One steward told me about a guest who called 6 times in one afternoon for extra pillows, then more hangers, then a different type of soap, then to ask where the pool was. Each time she had to stop what she was doing, walk back to that cabin, and handle the request in person. By the end of the day, she'd fallen 2 hours behind and missed her dinner break entirely. If you need something non-urgent, use the phone. Or better yet, ask in person when you see your steward. Save the call button for true emergencies. Secret number 6, leaving wet floors and spills. It might not seem like a big deal, a puddle after your shower, a spill near the mini fridge. But stewards clean dozens of cabins back to back, and one slick tile can cause serious injury. In fact, one steward told me about slipping on a guest's spilled soda and working the rest of the voyage on crutches. Cruise ship cabins are tight, compact spaces. There's not much room to maneuver, especially when you're pushing a cleaning cart or carrying fresh linens. A wet floor isn't just inconvenient, it's a liability. And because stewards move so quickly, they don't always notice a puddle until they've already stepped in it. Grab a towel, dry the floor after your shower, wipe up spills immediately. It takes 5 seconds and could prevent someone from getting seriously hurt. Secret number 7, hiding trash in drawers or under the bed. You'd be shocked at what crews find. Cups, diapers, half-eaten room service snacks, tucked away like someone else will deal with it later. Cabin stewards aren't detectives. They work quickly and often by memory of where items should be. When they find hidden trash, it delays inspections and creates sanitation risks. Guests finish a snack, don't want to walk to the trash bin, and shove the wrapper into a nightstand drawer. Or they change a diaper and hide it under the bed, planning to deal with it later. But they forget, or they leave the ship. And the steward opens that drawer days later to restock and finds rotting food or worse. It's not just gross, it's a health code violation. It attracts pests, and it creates an entirely avoidable problem. If your trash bin is full, call and ask for it to be emptied, or take it to a public bin on deck. Don't hide it and assume your steward will telepathically know where you stashed last night's pizza crust. Secret number 8, being too demanding on day 1. Many guests test the limits early, asking for extra pillows, special ice buckets, or multiple cleanings in the first few hours. Stewards remember those requests, not out of spite, but because they instantly flag you as high maintenance. And on a ship where time is measured in minutes, demanding guests often end up lower on the priority list. There's a psychology to this. Stewards talk. They compare notes in crew areas, share stories during breaks, warn each other about difficult passengers. If you start your cruise with a laundry list of demands before your luggage even arrives, word spreads. You become known as the guest who requires extra effort. And while they'll still serve you professionally, the little extras, those disappear. No more towel animals, no surprise chocolates, no early check-ins on special requests. The guests who start with kindness and patience, they're the ones who get remembered in the best way possible. Secret number 9, forgetting to say hello. It sounds simple, but on cruise ships, greetings mean everything. Your cabin steward sees you more often than most crew members will. A warm good morning builds a connection that can change your entire experience. You might find extra towels folded just how you like them, or a surprise towel animal with sunglasses waiting on your bed. I once watched a passenger completely ignore their steward for 3 days straight, walking past without a word, never making eye contact, treating them like furniture. Then on day 4, they complained to guest services that their room didn't feel personalized. But here's the thing, personalization comes from connection. Your steward will go out of their way for guests who acknowledge them as human beings, learn their name, ask where they're from, say good morning when you pass them in the hallway. That 30-second interaction can transform your entire cruise experience. Because suddenly, you're not just cabin 8372, you're a person they genuinely want to take care of. Secret number 10, leaving the lights and AC running. Here's one few people talk about. Cabin stewards are responsible for monitoring energy usage. And yes, some ships track which rooms leave systems running while unoccupied. Every minute your balcony door stays open with the AC blasting, it wastes power and throws off climate systems. The steward then has to reset your thermostat manually. One more invisible task. Modern cruise ships are incredibly energy efficient, but they rely on passengers doing their part. When you leave for dinner with every light on, the AC set to Arctic, and the balcony door cracked open, it doesn't just waste energy, it impacts the entire deck's climate control. Some ships even have environmental audits where stewards are scored on the energy usage of their assigned cabins. Turn off the lights when you leave, close the balcony door, set the AC to a reasonable temperature. It's a small habit that shows respect, not just for your steward, but for the environment and everyone on board. Cruise ships are floating cities built on rhythm and perception. Every smile, every folded towel, every gesture is part of a finely tuned system, designed to make you feel at ease while maintaining an invisible hierarchy behind the scenes. Your cabin steward operates within that system, under strict timing, surveillance, and expectation metrics. When passengers act unpredictably, the system falters. That's why small gestures, like respecting service windows or keeping tidy, mean so much more than they seem. It's not just about cleanliness, it's about order. When the system flows, your cruise feels seamless. When it doesn't, everyone feels the disruption. Secret number 11, assuming tips don't matter. This is the one most passengers misunderstand. Yes, cruise lines often include gratuities automatically, but for most cabin stewards that barely covers their base workload. A small cash tip, a handwritten note, or even a thank you card can completely shift how they treat your cabin. It tells them, this guest sees me as a person, not just a service. And when you do that early in the voyage, day 1, not day 6, you'll often find your steward going above and beyond in quiet, thoughtful ways the rest of the trip. I've heard countless stories of passengers who tipped generously on embarkation day and were treated like royalty the rest of the cruise. Extra bottled water appeared daily. Rooms were cleaned twice without asking. Special requests were handled instantly. It's not bribery, it's acknowledgement. You're saying, I see the work you do, I value it, and I want to make sure you know that. Secret number 12, using your bathroom like a spa. Long hot showers, wet towels on the floor, and makeup scattered across the sink. It's something stewards quietly struggle with. Cruise cabins have small, humidity-controlled ventilation systems. When guests turn the bathroom into a steam room, moisture spreads into the cabin walls and floors, causing hidden damage. And when products, hair, or wipes end up in the drain, it can block an entire section's plumbing system, which your steward then gets blamed for. When you take a 40-minute hot shower with the door closed, steam seeps into the ceiling, the walls even, the carpet outside. Over time, this creates mold, peeling paint, and musty odors that are nearly impossible to eliminate mid-voyage. Keep showers reasonable. Use the exhaust fan, hang your towels properly, and please, don't flush makeup wipes or cotton pads. They clog the pipes and create maintenance nightmares. Secret number 13, leaving personal laundry for later. Guests sometimes pile worn clothes on chairs or mix them with the steward's collected towels by mistake. It might not sound serious, but stewards have strict sanitation codes. If they touch your personal laundry, they can be written up or even fined. It's not about being fussy, it's about hygiene. Every towel, every sheet is logged and tracked, and personal clothing breaks that system completely. Cruise lines have very strict protocols about what stewards can and cannot handle. Towels and linens? Yes. Personal clothing? Absolutely not. Unless you've specifically arranged for paid laundry service. When you leave your dirty clothes piled on the bathroom floor or mixed with used towels, your steward has to work around them. They can't move them. They can't bag them. They can't even touch them without risking disciplinary action. Use the laundry bags provided. Keep your clothes separate from ship linens. Secret number 14. Taking room service trays to the hallway. It seems helpful. You're done eating, so you slide the tray outside your door. But stewards actually dread this. Hallway trays attract seagulls in port, spill drinks as the ship moves, and block the narrow service routes crew use for carts. Many ships have a separate team to collect trays, but when passengers line the corridor with leftovers, it becomes a messy obstacle course. I've seen entire hallways lined with trays, some sitting for hours, slowly turning into a buffet for insects and creating unpleasant odors. The ship rocks, drinks spill, food rolls onto the carpet, and your steward, who has nothing to do with room service, gets blamed for the mess. Most ships ask you to call when you're done so the tray can be collected properly, but don't create a hallway graveyard of dirty dishes. It's neither helpful nor hygienic. So, how many of these have you been guilty of? Don't worry. Every cruiser learns over time. The best travelers understand that luxury isn't about having more, it's about moving through the world with awareness. And when you treat the crew with that same awareness, your entire cruise transforms. You'll notice the difference immediately. Your room will feel more welcoming, your requests will be handled faster, and the little touches, the ones that make a cruise truly special, will start appearing without you even asking. Because your cabin steward isn't just cleaning your room. They're deciding how much effort you're worth. And when you show them respect, kindness, and awareness, you become worth everything. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Lux Depths, where luxury meets depth. Your next adventure deserves more than just tips. It deserves understanding.